Hello, welcome back to the SML podcast, Playing the Field with Field Turner 007. We got Prime Time 000 back with us today. We've got a lot to cover, so we're going to get to it. Prime, I don't think we've done a podcast since last season. What went wrong in that last Super Bowl that I thought for sure you were going to get back on track on?
We lost. We ran into a stone wall there. Falcons, a great team, great player, well-earned Super Bowl. I just don't think we had the right game plan going into that game. Just bad luck. Bad luck calling plays. He's played a perfect game.
All right, and you managed to get a little measure of revenge. I know it doesn't really amount to much in the grand scheme of things in a regular season game. What was the difference in this game I think you just played compared to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think we played better. I think we did what we should have done in the Super Bowl, but at the same time, he won when it counted, so not too happy about it still. Would like to see him again in a Super Bowl.
All right, the only other big Colts news thing is Andrew Luck is injured yet again, it seems, over the last 2 or 3 Maddens. Andrew Luck consistently goes down, and a lot of that has the fact that you're just like Andrew Luck in the aspect that you want to extend the play, where you're scrambling around the pocket, so then he's getting hit from awkward angles, and essentially this time it was kind of a major injury. Walk us through what happened.
Yeah, so I think we were trying to step up in the pocket there, get an extra 2-3 yards. We ran. Didn't slide. I think that's what happened. And then he went down and got hurt.
Okay, so now Andrew Luck on the bench, on the shelf for the rest of the Madden, not just the season.
Right.
But this is the final Madden season
Right.
of Madden 18. So in comes a young kid, young gunslinger, Nolan Holt.
Right.
What's going on with Nolan Holt?
Right. So Nolan Holt, he was almost a Colt season 2. We got the second pick in the draft by trading Jacoby Brissett and our first round pick to the Giants. We got a good trade. He ended up going to Buffalo, and we got a superstar defensive end. Now, Buffalo didn't resign him. He probably could be a 99 overall quarterback right now if he was developed properly. Anyway, we got him for a steal. Nobody bid on him in free agency except for us, so we got him for a decent price. And now we held on to him. He got a lot of trade offers for him. And we kept holding on to him because we're like, hey, we play aggressive with Luck. We're going to need him at some point. Now's the time. His ratings are actually better than Luck. Throw power, got more speed. Accuracy, he's down a point or two in most of those spots, but it's not too bad. We think by playoff time he'll be actually better in all spots over Luck. So we're so confident. It's going to be weird playing without Andrew Luck, but we think Nolan Holt gives us just as much of a chance to win, if not better.
Last season there was a great change. You wound up benching Andrew Luck in one of the games last year, and Nolan Holt comes in.
That was this year, actually.
I thought that was last season.
Nope, it was week 2 this year against, we were playing the Saints.
So Andrew Luck got benched, and then Holt throws the pick, and then Andrew Luck goes
Right.
back in. So what was different this time when Nolan Holt was called on?
Well, Holt came in, threw a touchdown pass, had a 70% completion percentage. He extended the plays just like Luck, and we got the win over Atlanta. I think we were having a bad game that game. We're hoping that interception against the Saints was a fluke. So I'm excited to see what happens.
All right, let's talk about the rest of the league now. We did our prime segment. Obviously, when you look at the playoff picture, AFC, top dog, Colts, Broncos, Ravens, Jets, Dolphins, Bengals, all the usual suspects. And then in the NFC side, Falcons, Seahawks, Bears, the G-Men.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in a second. The Vikings and the Panthers, and then the bubble, we got the Eagles. First of all, I want to talk about the Seahawks. The Seahawks came in the first game they played, I think they dropped 70.
Yeah.
Or something stupid. Have you seen any tape on this guy or what? And I've seen he blew out his last opponent 35-7. He beat the Cardinals 35-7.
Wow. Impressive.
So what have you seen anything on the Seahawks, or what's the story on this guy?
I have not seen much. I know he's relatively new owner, came in towards the tail end of last season. So this is his first year. I know the Seahawks roster isn't too good either. He's playing with some scrubbies at quarterback, it looks like. But look, at the end of the day, it's all about stick skills. And he's got the number 1 ranked offense right now in terms of scoring 35 points a game.
That's crazy.
So right now the Seahawks are the team to beat in the SML.
And, we're about 12 games in. He's almost got a 1,000-yard rusher. And like you said, the roster's not that good. But I think the main story this year, of course, the fact that the Colts have lost several Super Bowls in a row, yet the Super Bowl hangover doesn't affect you. The Giants, who've been the perennial punching bag of the SML for the last 2 or 3 cycles. And this time, Scrubbo has his team not only in playoff contention, but it looks like he's got a pretty good chance at winning the division. And he's won 8 games already, which is probably his total for
the last 2 or 3 years now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so what's different with the Giants here?
Now, 2 Maddens ago or so, El Scrubbo was a good player. He played in the AFC South. He beat me a few times.
Right.
Now
Texans.
over the past few seasons in the SML, he's lived up to his name of Scrubbo. He has not won any games.
He's just been a scrub.
He's just been a scrub. So nice to see him turn it around. One of the biggest turnarounds in the SML I think we've seen in a while. And interestingly enough, I've expected the Eagles to climb up, especially with the loss of a few owners we've had ruling the NFC. Eagles are still staying in that same spot, and we're seeing teams like the Cowboys and the Giants over there really take off. And look, the Giants with Marcus Mariota, he's thrown 23 touchdowns in the year.
And that's been like the big thing for him. Well, to begin the cycle, he wanted a quarterback. He said he wanted a quarterback. Made the trade for Jacoby Brissett. Apparently, I think he bought in a little bit what's going on in real life, buying into some of that. And then
it just didn't work out for him.
He got Mariota this offseason, I believe.
Yeah.
And 23 touchdowns already for the Scrubbo standards. I mean, this is amazing what he's getting done with this roster, because this team sucks, too.
Yeah, no.
Quite frankly.
He's got Odell still.
He's got Odell Beckham, although there have been multiple times the Colts have attempted to lure him to Indianapolis.
Yes.
But anyway, he's still there. And I think what's interesting is a couple of the ads from last season, the Bears and the Vikings, Bears, Vikings, and Panthers, all still hanging there, all 8-9 win teams.
I think what we're seeing now is these teams in the NFC are going to be staples in the top of the league. Bears, like you said, Seahawks, Vikings, Panthers, all top teams. Falcons, really the whole NFC. Once again, this year, is there a team that you really look at? I haven't paid too much attention to the Seahawks. I don't know if they've. I'd like to look at their schedule and see the teams they've beat this season, if they have beaten the top tier talent yet, or if they play the top tier talent. I'm not too sure about that. So right now, looking at the NFC,
there's only really like 3 teams that are like bottom: the Bucks, the Packers, and Lions. Which I'm kind of, and the Rams. I'm kind of surprised by Fuzzy's drop off. 2-8 right now. The Packers have kind of been on the scrub squad the last couple cycles. The Bucks have dropped back off again. Compared to last season, they were playoff contender, if not a playoff team. But I guess my point here is, when you're looking at the talent that we're getting with these users that we're getting in this league, it's a lot different. Unfortunately, we're not getting a bunch of guys that are good sim players and that are just easy for us to whoop on. There's some guys that are coming in here that are ready to play ball.
Right. And I guess just to wrap that up, is the NFC, there's no team that's running away with it once again.
No, it's all close. It's all one game. The Falcons currently the top team at 9-2, but really the Seahawks are probably the top teams. They're 9-1-1. Bears 8-2, Giants 8-3, the Vikings 9-2, and the Panthers at 9-2. So
until you get past the 7th seed, that's when the real drop off begins.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what plays out the rest of this season. I guess another thing we could talk about is the launch of SimMaddenLeague.com, or I guess the renewal of it.
Yes.
Kind of a project that you wound up taking on. What are some new features with the site? What are some things that we're going to be able to do with the site that we weren't able to do before?
Yeah, so SimMaddenLeague.com, I did take over. Look, there's a latest news tab, which I'm hoping to start posting Tribune articles, stuff like that on, which we didn't previously have with our old site. We've got the links to social media we're going to start adding in once we get the Twitter thing found out. We've got a few things we need to work out, kinks on the site. We will be adding a shop section for certain things. We don't have that completely figured out yet. That's just in the future. We're going to have a Champions tab. Right now it's coming soon. I just think that once we get all the bugs worked out, and there's a few things I've been working on that quite aren't done yet because I don't know how to do them, this site will be light years ahead of our old site. But right now it's a place where you can go to find the rules for guys to apply. And look, it's just a pretty looking website, and that's what we needed.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a while since you've even been able to really easily access the rules or anything, because it was under a different domain. Mm-hmm. So That's good to have, the fact that we're able to get people to come here to apply for the site. And maybe that was the reason why we're kind of seeing a drop-off in applications.
Right.
So, yeah, we need to get this completely knocked out. But we're back with the podcast, back with SimMaddenLeague.com. I guess my last bit of news will be the end-of-cycle tournament, or the in-between, because normally there's just like 2 weeks in between, or a couple weeks, week one roster update, and by the time that we're done with the previous cycle. And traditionally we've done, I set up a tournament, I get the brackets made up, single elimination, and we normally use the previous Madden. I think last Madden, a lot of guys were trading their games in because of the Best Buy $25 trade-in. So I think we're just going to go ahead and we're going to do this tournament on Madden 19 instead of Madden 18. It gives guys a good chance of playing the game on with a kind of like a competitive nature to it, not just playing online lobby ball. It kind of gives you some meaning, some meaningful games, and I think it'll just be a good way to kick off Madden 19, and we'll let the final Super Bowl of this cycle be the farewell to this cycle, and I think that's kind of what we need to do this time.
I think we do have to decide what our, if we're giving away an award, what that will be for the, what do we call it, for the middle cycle, or for
the tournament.
For the tournament, right. So I think we still got to work out a few kinks with that. So yeah, it's just something to stay tuned on, that, as well as the team selection draft. We're going to wait to release all the details of that stuff probably after this cycle's over, which will be soon. We've only got, I think, 4 advances left of the regular season. So that's, what, a week and a half? So
yeah, it's almost done. So obviously I think the Twitter activities kind of died off a little bit. That'll be mandatory to be ramped up with the next cycle. We'll really be enforcing that stuff. But if you haven't yet, and if you happen to just stumble on this podcast, you're looking for a new league, be sure to apply at SimMaddenLeague.com. Check out the other podcasts by Prime and Meats, SoundCloud, iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at SimMaddenLeague. Be sure to like, subscribe. Take care. Have a great day.